Thank you, Ringo. Let's head beneath the waves. Marco Bordieri is here of the Sydney Underwater Gazette. Morning, Marco.
Good morning, Dom. How are you?
I am very well. So we're talking about shipwrecks. We're continuing our mini-series on that and about how they age, how the condition of wrecks varies depending on where they are and what's going on. So what are the factors that determine how a shipwreck ages?
Yeah, that's a good point because there are so many. There is a full range of decay underwater. So usually, generally speaking, the deeper they are, the better. That's because of a few factors, as you mentioned. So definitely the wave action. So the deeper and the less interaction with the waves. The salinity in the water, which is lower depth. Oxygen the same. There is less oxygen the more you go, deeper, and also the temperature. The colder the better. So all these elements contribute, and also for the wrecks. Talking about Sydney, for the wrecks in the harbour, there is another element. If a ship was sunk in a position where was an obstacle to navigation, they have to destroy and to free up the ways. And what happened, for example, for the Centennial, which is a wreck that sank in 1889, it's it's right in the center of the harbor. So what they did, they had to destroy the mast that was sticking outside of the water with some explosives. So what you find now, it's kind of all the different bits, but you can't see the real shape.
So there's shrapnel.
Enough. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
It's just and interesting that when they did that, they announced, say, no, don't come close. We're going to use explosive. We're going to, destroy the remains. And what happened, all the people came with small boats all around because they were waiting for the explosive to go to fire off in order to collect some fish for dinner because they knew that they were. So they have to postpone all the explosions because there were so many little boats.
Yeah, wanting some dynamite fishing action. Goodness me.
Yeah,
that's amazing, Marco.
Why not?
So in terms of what these wrecks are made out of, when did the transition to making boats out of wood to metal happen? When did that transition occur?
We can say that the technology evolved around 1860 so previously they were building everything in wood, apart from the mechanical parts. So if you dive a wreck and it's older than 1860, usually was made of wood. The wood is by now destroyed, is gone, unless was sunk under a layer of silt in some situations, so it's preserved, but probably you don't see it. So what you see, for example, if you go to the Royal Shepherd, which is a beautiful wreck off South Head, all you see is just the mechanics. So you can see the boiler, you can see the shaft, you can see the propeller.
Okay, the wood's gone.
Yeah, it's just sitting on the sand. It's like ghost sitting on the sand. It's quite interesting. But then after 1860, they started building ships in steel. So an example is the Courageux wreck, which is built in 1875, was built in Scotland, Greenock, like most of the ships in that area. And it's just off Bradley Head, so very close to Tauranga Zoo, and was sunk in 1910. And that's probably one of the best preserved wrecks in New South Wales, again, because there was no explosive to destroy because it's deep enough, it's 25 meters, and it's in a position in the harbor where there is no swell. So it's a beautiful wreck, 67 meters. It's all made of steel, and if you visit it, you can still see the dent on one side due to the collision with another ship that caused the sinking.
Yeah, right.
It's beautiful. Yeah, unfortunately, it's missing key elements like the portholes. Everything that is made of brass and bronze, it's very resilient to corrosion.
But the metal lasts. Okay. We're talking to Marco.
People take it.
Sorry, we're talking to Marco Bordieri here about shipwrecks. And the last thing I want to just ask you about is this low background steel. This is really interesting. So steel that's made today is a bit different from steel before 1945. Why is that?
Yeah, there was, as you know, there was the first atomic explosion, the first bomb that was was tested on 16th of July 45 in New Mexico. It's called Trinity. That was the first atomic test. So since then, the air has some level of contamination. So when you produce steel and steel uses air in the production process, the steel is incorporating some of the radioactivity in a way. So the steel that was produced, everything that was produced before the 16th of July 1945 is called low background steel.
Wow. So
And
the whole conditions globally since that moment have been contaminated. That's fascinating. So people have been trying to scavenge the old radiation-free steel. That is really, really interesting. I want to know more about that. Marco, just before you go, can you tell us about diving conditions for the weekend? Has the rain churned things up or the storm?
Well, apart from rain, which is made the day probably not the most enjoyable on the water, but the conditions are great because there is very low swell, especially today. Tomorrow is going to be a little bit more. Visibility is kind of average, 5 meters. Northern beaches, eastern beaches is like 8, 10. So I would say swell, from the point of view of swell, it's going to be very flat and you can dive from everywhere. So I would say get in the water today. Don't look at the clouds and the rain, but get in the water today and maybe better today than tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow sounds pretty challenging. Thank you so much, Marco. Marco Bordieri there from the Sydney Underwater Gazette. Dom Knight with you on the Weekend Show, 26 past 6.